After studying this module, you should be able to know about how existential psychology came into being, learn about Rollo May, understand the basic features of Rollo May's theory, learn about various concepts associated with existential psychology, analyze the concept of freedom, destiny, and myths, evaluate the theory of Rollo May. Rendering to the existential psychologist, psychology is troubled with the study of nature of consciousness and the subjective reality. Existential psychology was not in favor of the traditional experimental psychology, where independent variables are manipulated and the organism is studied under maximum controlled condition. They deliberated the techniques of experimental psychologists as push and pull techniques, where the organism is not permitted to exercise his freedom and choice and is treated like a robot. On behalf of existential psychologists, the scientific method of analysis is not experimental, somewhat phenomenological, that gives importance upon description of the experience state of consciousness. Despite the fact that several theorists assisted in the formation of the early existential psychology movement, there were three prominent figures in America who helped in the development of existential psychology. Although several theorists should be credited, including humanistic oriented theorists, are worthy of appreciation in lieu of their influences. Nevertheless, these theorists were the ones who developed existentialism. These three individuals had a major role in the emergence, describing, and stimulating theory of existential psychotherapy. Devoid of their direction, it is uncertain that existential psychology could have reached where it has at present, some of which were Rollo May, James Burgentle, and Viktor Frankl. Rollo May, 1904 1994. It was Rollo May who developed and established existential psychology with other renowned theorists. He was an existential psychologist and existential psychotherapist who was also the co-founder of the humanistic psychology movement. Rollo May was the forthright in criticizing his contemporaries and was essentially liable for incorporating the humanistic and existential traditions. Rollo May was born in 1909 in Ohio, however, in Michigan he grew up. In 1930, he did his graduation from Oberlin College. Subsequently, for approximately 3 long years, he spent as a pragmatic artist traveling all the way through Europe. Once he returned to the US, he joined the Union Seminary, from where he got his degree of Masters of Divinity. Later on, then he worked as a pastor for about 2 years. Nevertheless, he ultimately left being a pastor to follow a career in the field of psychology. In 1939, May published The Art of Counseling, prominent as both a present day classic in the field and the very first text on counseling to be published in America. When he was 40, May got his PhD in clinical psychology in Columbia in the year 1949. He gave emphasis to the significant role of freedom, choice, and responsibility in human existence and suggested that the authentic self was only experienced when we assert ourselves, take a stand against what we find unacceptable. Fundamentally, May perceived that human beings live in their existing sphere of experience and eventually they are accountable for who they ultimately become. He supposed that individuals don't have the nerve to encounter their fate, and when they are in the course of escaping from it, which leads them to give up their independence. In this process, when they give up their autonomy, they in the same way run away from taking charge of themselves. Therefore, as they are unable to sort out what they want to choose, they are unable to think who they really are, in addition to improve a sense of inconsequentiality leading to isolation. Whereas, on other hand, healthy individuals are ready to face challenges, treasure their autonomy, and live authentically with other people and themselves. Such individuals knew that death is inevitable and have strength to face challenges which come up and live in present. Theory of Existential Psychology by Rollo May. It was May who came up with the traditional existential terminology and used them in a different manner in comparison to other thinkers and generated innovative terms for some of existential's old notions. Destiny, for instance, is approximately the same as thrownness shared with fallness. This is that measure of one's life which is already determined for the process of creating one's life. Whereas, for instance, courage is another term which is used by him more frequently than the traditional terminology authenticity, which deals with facing one's anxiety and one is able to rise above it. Anxiety, guilt, and intentionality. Another major concept which fascinated me was anxiety. He wrote his first book, which was called The Meaning of Anxiety. This book was grounded on his doctoral thesis, which in turn was centered on his reading. According to him, all individuals do feel anxious as they realize that their existence to some degree might be damaged. The attainment of autonomy certainly results to anxiety, which can lead to pleasure and can be constructive or destructive and result in pain. He referred to anxiety as uneasiness occurring due to threat to one's value system, which the human being view vital to his existence as a self. Though not purely existentialist, it does visibly incorporate fear of death or nothingness. May even quoted Kierkegaard, anxieties is the dizziness of freedom. For him, nobody can escape effect of anxiety. If one has to develop and change one's values might lead to experiencing constructive or average anxiety. Thus, he came up with two types of anxiety, namely normal and neurotic anxiety. Normal anxiety, according to Rollo May, growth can lead to experiencing some anxiety. In the year 1967, May refers to normal anxiety as the one which is equivalent to the threat, does not include repression, and it could be managed on a level of consciousness. He assumed that occurrence of normal anxiety was natural as one grows from an infant to an adult and does move on to grow older, and henceforth one's values and beliefs changes, and with each stride they experience anxiety, which is normal. Similarly, normal anxiety is experienced by an individual when he achieves something. For instance, when an artist or philosopher or a scientist creates something, that is, they have an insight that one's life or of others would be completely changed with creation of something leads to normal anxiety. Neurotic anxiety may believe that every individual experiences anxiety, which is normal and is constructive, but it is not the case with neurotic anxiety. Rollo may define it as a response which is inconsistent to the threat and that results to repression, and response which is defensive. It has been observed that each time when one's values are altered into philosophy, neurotic anxiety blocks progression and beneficial accomplishment. Relating to the management of anxiety, may thought that neurotic anxiety is managed over and done with the use of neurotic defense mechanisms and decline of action and perception. Only normal anxiety holds the likelihood of being confronted in a constructive manner. Going further on the concept of constructive manners, these involve such mental undertaking as learning to accept and live with anxiety. Rollo may also suggested that anxiety develops when one is unable to channelize one's full potential, and which leads to remorse and eventually can result in anxiety. Guilt occurs each and every time when a person refutes their abilities, unable to correctly identify the needs of other individuals, or they continue to be dependent on the natural world. Anxiety and guilt both refers to the nature of an individual and feelings not rising as of definite situations, may identify three types of guilt, for each conforming to any one of three models of being in the world. These were referred to as Umwelt, Mitwelt, and Eigenwelt. First mode it's called as Umwelt, which refers to world around. It is the realm of existence that is experienced by all organisms and would continue to exist if no organism displayed consciousness. Consequently, Umwelt comprises biological matters such as needs and instincts, which are unavoidable from birth until death. The second mode of existence is referred to as Mitwealth, which refers to with world. This realm incorporates interpersonal relationship between human beings, thus not including the less complex interactions seen in animals. On the basis of their relationship with other human beings, they are able to define other members of their group, and on the basis of their relationship with them, and define their groups on the basis of their personal relationship of placement within it. The third and frequently most misunderstood mode of existence is Eigenwelt. It refers to as own world. This mode is the heart of an individual's perspective of reality in its true context. It creates the basis for the manner in which we personally relate to the world. Basically, it involves an individual's understanding of worldly things mean to them. This was said by May in 1983-1994. Rollo May also came up with the concept of intentionality. It denotes that structure which provides with significance to understanding, allowing folks to come up with their future decisions. May believe that intentionality is vital, short of which individuals cannot choose or act on their choices. He assumed that intentionality allows an individual to overcome between the subjectivity and objectivity for the reason that it lets them to understand that their intents are a function of both their environment, that is external factors, and themselves, that is internal factors. Love, care, and will. Three other concepts on which May emphasized were care, love, and will, though these terms are related but are not similar to each other. May suggested that care is a vigorous procedure that put forward that belonging matters. On the other hand, love refers at caring to feel pleasure in the company of another individual. Care is also a significant component of will. It denotes being consciously committed to accomplishment. Love and will. Rollo May wrote a book titled Love and Will, which has all the concepts which he stressed upon. As mentioned earlier, May wanted to incorporate Freud's concept with that of existentialism. In order to do that, he turned his attention to one of the most significant concepts in Freud's theory, and that was motivation. His simple motivational construct is known as the daimonic. The daimonic refers to entire system of motives, not the same for each individual. It consists of a group of specific motives called daimons. The word daimon is derived from the Greek, which refers to little god. It comes to us as demon with a very negative implication. But initially, a demon could be bad or good. Daimons comprises lower needs such as food and sex, as well as higher needs such as love. Essentially, for me, daimon is anything that can take over the person. A situation he refers to as daimonic possession. It is then when balance among daimons is interrupted that they should be considered evil. This concept is quite similar to Binswanger's ideas of themes or Horney's notion of coping strategies. According to May, one of the most significant daimons is Eros. Eros is love, and in Greek mythology was a minor god pictured as a young man. Later, Eros would be converted into that aggressive little pest Cupid. May assumed love as the need we have to become one with another person, and talks about an ancient Greek story by Aristophanes, which states that initially individuals were four-legged, four-armed, two-headed creatures. When they became a little too prideful, the god split them in two, male and female, and cursed them with the never-ending need to search for our missing half. Nevertheless, like any demons, Eros is a good thing until it takes over the personality, until we become obsessed with it. An additional chief notion for me is will, which is the capacity to act in ways which would help in attainment of one's goal, thus making the concept of will somewhat similar with ego and reality testing. Nevertheless, it has its own energy, like which is present in ego psychology. An additional definition of will is the capacity to fulfill one's wishes, where wishes can be understood as the frisky conception of possibilities, and these are the outcomes of one's demons. However, wishes can be generated from eros. However, they need will to make them take place. May mentions that will too is a diamond that can possibly overtake the person. Therefore, we can perceive three types of personality which are generated from our wishes for giving and receiving love and the will to comprehend them. However, it is noteworthy that these theorists do not label them as it would be against their philosophy. However, he does use several terminologies to define them time and again. The three types are neopunitive, infantile, and creative. The first type of personality which he mentions is Neopuritan. This is defined as that who all will but no love is. Those who have remarkable self discipline and can indulge in creating things occur. Nonetheless, they have no desires to take up some action. Consequently, these individuals grow into anal in addition wants to perfect every action, on the other hand leading them to feel hollow and dried up inside. Another type, which may termed as infantile, deals as related to all the wishes but no will, occupied with all the imaginings and longings but not having any self discipline to make them occur in reality, thus making them reliant on others and conforming to others in general. They do love, then again it has less of any significance for them. The third type is creative type. It deals with that we should cultivate a balance of these two aspects of our personalities. He said man's task is to unite love and will. This notion has also been explained by many other theorists also. Otto Rank, for instance, makes the similar difference with death, which comprises both our needs for the others and our fear of life, and life, which contains both our need for autonomy and our fear for loneliness. Other theorists have also asserted that communions and agencies, harmony and autonomy, nurturance and assertiveness, affiliation and achievement, and so on. Freedom, destiny, and myths. Freedom. Psychologically healthy individuals are at ease with freedom. These individuals are capable to understand, charge for the choices they make, and prepared to face their calling. According to May, freedom is attained from a knowledge of one's destiny. When an individual identifies that death is a probability at any moment, and when we are ready to experience variations, even aware of the fact that they do not know what those changes will bring, May had recognized two forms of freedom, which were freedom of doing and freedom of being. Destiny. May in 1981 referred to it as the plan of the creation, communicating through the design of each and every one of us. For him, one's fate contains the restrictions of our surroundings and our subjective abilities, together with our morality, gender, and genetic predispositions. Freedom and destiny constitutes a paradox because freedom gains vitality from destiny and destiny gains meaning from freedom. According to May, destiny was an aspect in our choices and the results of our lives. May wrote in his book titled Freedom and Destiny that to be truly free, an individual must also consent that something irrational limitations are forced by destiny. This states a distinction amidst what one actually wants to do and what we can really do. According to May's philosophy, we are destined to die, which sets some specific limits on existence. Nevertheless, when and how we are to die is not predetermined. As Heidegger proposed, knowing we will die gives life a meaning. Therefore, it tells us again that we need to undertake to some degree something at present, or we would not be able to do anything later on. Myth. In his last book entitled The Cry for Myth, Frankl specified that an enormous problem was loss of one's value. Together, this diverse value which we perceive to surround us lead us to distrust all values. As Nithacus stated, if divinity is not present, totally is gone. At that time, whatsoever is tolerable May suggested that one has to construct one's own values. Each of us has to do it individually, but we all are aware that it is really challenging to mention the slightest about it. Therefore, one requires support, not enforced upon us, nonetheless presented to us for one to utilize by means of our will. Most existential feel that it is essentially to face reality much more openly than myth implies. Psychopathology and psychotherapy. May thought that apathy and emptiness were the main reasons existential disorder. In addition to it, wasn't apprehension as well as remorse, which were the primary existential ailments of present period. Individuals turn out to be isolated as of from the normal domain, wealth as well as from other persons, that is mid-wealth, besides that also from themselves, which is referred to as eigenwealth. He felt that psychopathology was the result of a lack of communication with other individuals, that is, the incompetence to distinguish other individuals as well as to share oneself with those persons. For May suggested that mentally distressed persons reject their fate, hence, they are unable to find their autonomy. According to him, these people then manifest various phobic symptoms not to regain their autonomy, nevertheless to abandon it. Symptoms constructs the individual's phenomenological domain to the point which results in making deal with them better. The compulsive person assumes an uncompromising repetitive behavior as a result, leading to making selections which are not required. Unlike other theorists, May proposed that the main purpose of psychotherapy was not just to treat clients of any definite disorder but to make them fully human. May asserted that psychotherapy should focus on making individuals aware of their existence and that relieving symptoms is simply a byproduct of that experience. Summary. Existential psychology has at all times continued a close relationship with existential philosophy. The communication between these two disciplines and their joint bond of existentialism has been equally valuable. Because of this, it can be very helpful to know some about the existential philosophers. It was Rollo May who developed and established existential psychology with other renowned theorists. He was an existential psychologist and existential psychotherapist who was also the co-founder of humanistic psychology movement. Rollo May was the one existentialist who came up with the certain development stages which were not as stringent as the developmental stages given by Freud. These were known as innocence, ordinary, rebellion, and creativity. Another major concept which fascinated May was anxiety. He wrote his book, which was called The Meaning of Anxiety. This book was grounded on his doctoral thesis. According to him, all individuals do feel anxious as they realize that their existence to some degree might be damaged. For me, nobody can escape the effect of anxiety. To grow and to change one's values mean to experience constructive or normal anxiety. Thus, he came up with two types of anxiety, namely normal and neurotic anxiety. Rollo May also suggested that anxiety develops when one is unable to channelize one's full potential. Guilt occurs each and every time when a person refutes their abilities, unable to correctly identify the needs of other individuals. May identified three types of guilt, which were Umwelt, Mitwelt, and Eigenwelt. Rollo May also came up with the concept of intentionality. It denotes that the structure which gives meaning to experience and permits people to make decisions about the future. Three other concepts on which May emphasized were care, love, and will, though related but are not similar to each other. May suggested care is an active process that proposes that things matter. On the other hand, love refers to caring, to feel delighted. Care is also an important factor in will. It talks about being consciously committed to oneself. Psychologically healthy individuals are at ease with freedom. These individuals are capable to undertake responsibility for their choices and willing to face their destiny. According to May, destiny was still an aspect in our choices and the results of our lives. May thought that apathy and emptiness were the main reason existential disorder, and it was not anxiety and guilt as the primary existential disorders of our time. Unlike other theorists, May proposed that the main aim of psychotherapy was not to cure patients of any specific disorder, but to make them more fully human. However, Greenberg and his contemporaries have discovered the notion of managing terror, which is constructed on the formation of existential anxiety. Overall, it was seen that May's and Greenberg's results are consistent with that of conception of existential anxiety as an hesitation of danger to one's existence.